I was just taking a quick look at these new Ecoflow Delta 3 Ultra Series models. And you might be saying to yourself, well, what is this? Like, what's the deal with this? There's so many of these, I can't even keep track. I can't even keep track of how many different models there are. And even worse is these new Ultra Series models look like the Delta 3 Pro. So, what's going on here? Like, what is the difference? Well, we're going to talk about the differences in this video. And yeah, if you're wondering, like, is it actually the same case as the Delta 3 Pro? Well, it's not. It looks the same. It looks the same, but it's not. It's not even close. It's not. Well, it is close. Okay, it is close. So this is the dimensions of the Delta 3 Pro. And basically the height, these new Ultra Series models are about a half an inch shorter. And it's the same story with the width. So they're about a half an inch shorter in width. They're a little bit more narrow. And the biggest difference really is in the length. So they're actually 3 inches shorter than this. Now the weight, that's the big difference. So yeah, the regular Ultra 3, 72 pounds. The Ultra Plus, 74 pounds. Whereas the Pro 3 is 115 pounds. Now, of course, these new Ultra Series models do have a little bit less capacity as well. Basically 3 kilowatt hours internally versus 4 kilowatt hours internally for the Pro. But guess what? You can actually expand. Well, we'll talk about the expansion here in a second. Let's talk about the power, because this is actually the biggest difference between the Pro and these Ultra Series models is there's no 240 volt output. In fact, it's only 120 volts. Now you do get the 30 amp outlet. You still get that. But yeah, you can't do 240. But if you don't need 240, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it? And that 30 amp outlet is an actual 30 amp outlet. Yeah, it can do 3600 watts continuous, 7200 watt surge, obviously. Now, all of these Ultra Series models, they do get the new USB-C ports, 140 watts, so a lot of them too. So that's actually really good to see. And then 12 volt is on the back. For some reason, they still keep putting that on the back side. So the regular Ultra just has the car socket. The Ultra Plus actually gets the 30 amp Anderson output. And for these Ultra Series models, both of them get these full tab LFP cells. So as I mentioned, 3 kilowatt hours. They say that the full tab basically makes it more efficient, right? Because there's less resistance when power is going in and out of the cells. And also, as you can see in this image, these cells use the new CTC cell to chassis, where you can see the cells are actually integrated into basically the bottom part of the case. It makes it stronger, right? Because you're actually using the cells for structural rigidity. Both models also get the new upgraded 10 millisecond UPS. So no more of that 20 milliseconds, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? 10 milliseconds pretty much always works. Now, I know what you're saying. You're thinking to yourself, well, what is really the difference between the Ultra and the Ultra Plus? They all basically have the same thing. Same inverter, same battery, the new cells, the upgraded UPS, it's all the same. It's all the same. Well, guess what? It's not the same. It's not even close to being the same when we're talking about charging. So the standard AC inputs, whether you're using grid or your gas generator, 1800 watts, that's typical. But the solar, this is where we start to see the big difference. 800 watts, it's still that XD60, up to 60 volts only. And actually a decent number of amps. So 60 volts, 18 amps. So you can get some, good power going into this thing, but yeah, you know, you're going to be doing a lot of parallel connections. They're just smaller solar panels. And of course, you can use that same input for the alternator charging. And if those specs aren't good enough for you, that's where you want to go for the Ultra Plus. So the wall charging is still the same, obviously, from grid power. But if you have their gas generator, you can actually plug it in to the expansion port. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. And do 3,200 watts. And then for solar, 1,600 watts. Yeah, literally double. And I mean literally double. I mean, it's the same port. So you might be disappointed by that. It's the same port. There's just two of them. So that's why it's double. There's no high voltage, you know, high PV inputs on this thing. If you want that, you're going to have to go up to the Delta Pro 3. And you can even do more from the alternator. And it's not because you would have two of them plugged in. They actually have this Pro or Plus Charger Plus 1000. This is a new model right here. It's silver. So yeah, evidently that can do 1,000 watts. You know, the old one could already do like more than you'd want to do anyways for your alternator. You know, for your alternator's sake. I don't know what you're going to be doing with this new one. 1,000 watts. Yeah, you're going to burn up your alternator, especially if you're parked like this. Like, if you're doing this, you want to make sure you're driving at least so there's airflow going into the engine and cooling the alternator. You know, it's like, good luck with this. I mean, maybe you can pop the hood. But anyways, you know, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the expansion. Because this might make your decision easy. You know, if you're kind of on the fence here, guess what? It's only the Ultra Plus that can be expanded. Yeah, that's right. The regular Ultra is 3 kilowatt hours. That's it. What's interesting to note here, remember how I talked about, you know, are these things actually using the same case as the the Delta 3 Pro? And we talked about, no, they're not. They're a little bit smaller. Well, guess what? You can actually use the Delta Pro 3 extra batteries, but you're not going to be able to stack them on top. You see that? See how they got them set next to it? So, you know, keep that in mind. But still, it's nice that you can do that, right? So those are 4 kilowatt hours each. So in this setup here, you'd have 4 plus 4 plus 3. And even I can do that math. It's 11 kilowatt hours. Now, if you don't want, you know, batteries that big, they are going to have these new Delta 3 Max Plus. Oh boy, oh boy, here we go. Here we go with the names again. Delta 3 Max Plus extra battery that you can use with the Delta 3 Ultra Plus. Hey, now I'm even getting confused here. So anyways, those are 2 kilowatt hours. And they do say that you're going to need an adapter. You're going to need an adapter to use those batteries. So evidently there's no Ultra Series specific extra battery, which is probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing, isn't it?